Okay, my name is Kathy Ligon. I'm from Mesquite, Nevada. Fan club. And I've been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator only for about 2 years. Yeah, but not new to Stampin' Up! I've always used Stampin' Up! Probably since, well, quite a few years. But I retired and moved up here to Mesquite and had the pleasure of meeting Jill. So after meeting Jill, of course, I became a demonstrator. So no arm tugging there with Jill. Anyways, when she asked me to present today, and that my inspiration came from the Occasions catalog. When I seen the front of the Occasions catalog, all of the flowers there, I immediately went in and looked and seen it was a kit. Well, I make a lot of boxes and I make a lot of flowers. And so what I immediately came to the bouquet die. And so what we're going to do today is actually we're going to make this flower, or at least a similar flower in that. So whenever I get a big die like this with a lot of elements in that, I always go ahead and I get contact paper and I cut it according to the size of the die. And then I go ahead then, and it's easy for me to see how many elements are there and which ones I want to cut out in the size of paper, and it pretty much saves me wasting paper. So I have an opportunity then to kind of size my paper in that. So for today's demonstration, to do this particular flower in that, we're going to be working on petal number 3. I cut out 10 of petal number 3, and I did 8 of petal number 4. And then of course we'll talk a little bit about the stamen for the flower. So rather than boring you and cutting out all of the petals and that, I've already done the petals. And once you get them cut out, what I would recommend is you take your bone folder and, like Cindy said, breathe a little life into them and just break down the fibers of your petals in that. I do both sides of my petals in that so that I'm sure to have all of the fibers broken down so that a petal begins to take its own natural shape. And then you've got a little bit more flexibility with it. If you want to do a little bit more embellishing, and that you can just go ahead and just tip the ends and burnish the ends in that. This particular cardstock we're using today is the Pink Pirouette, and I'm using the same ink as well. Now, because this is so big in that and kind of heavy, the flower is kind of heavy, I do use my glue gun in that, so be real careful with that. I have both the hot and the low temperature in that, so for today I'm using the low so I don't burn myself. But anyways, each one of the petals has a little bit of a slit to it. All you're going to do is just put a little bit of glue in one of the corners and then just kind of bend it over and just kind of hold it for a few minutes. And then that forms your petal. And the farther you take your bend is the more cupping of your petal you'll get. So you go ahead then and start forming your petals in that, and then I put on the bottom, because I did 10 of the number 3 petals, I have 5 on the bottom and 5 on top. And all you do is just go ahead and put a little bit of more glue on the side here, and then just start building your petals and go around until you get all 5 of your petals built. And then you do the same with the smaller ones. Each again has a slit. You're going to go ahead and break the fibers down, embellish the edges if you choose to, and then put a little bit of glue and form them. So I already started the base of these and that. I started to put them together, and what you want to do is you want to offset them, of course, so that they, you know, no flower is going to be on top of each other. So you're going to start forming your petals that way. And you just put a little bit of glue on the bottom. Make sure that you offset them and kind of press them in. And this will be the final one. And you can continue to build it however you want. I only did 4 layers in that, but you can continue to get them as small as you want or as loose as you want them. Then I went ahead then and I cut out the stamens. Now what I did on this particular flower here, there's actually 10 of these stamens that I pinched together, and there's 10 of them in here. You don't have to have all 10. You could have one that just goes into the center and then maybe put a brad or a pearl or a button in that, or you could put a couple of them in. You can have a single color, you can have, you know, it's up to your imagination. That's going to be the hardest part of the whole thing, is to determine what color flower you want. So for today, what we're going to do is I'm going to use 2 different colors for the center in that. And to put the stamen in, you just go ahead and when you cut it out, you're going to just keep folding it and kind of pinch it as you fold it in that. And so for today, I'm going to put 4 of the pink in the center, and then I'm going to have white ones around it, just to show you what 2 colors look like. I had a white one that I had, and then what I did is I just took some green and I just dabbed a little bit, as though the you know how the flowers sometimes will start to form their colors and that. And I had the green on the bottom and the white, and then I had some crystal effects on some of them. And I mean, you could just go crazy with it. But you can see how it's beginning to take shape in that. And I mean, every flower is just so different, and it's just a beautiful die. I just absolutely love it. And when I seen the kit in that, I thought that is great, because I love making flowers. But what I also like to do is to be able to repeat it. And so for me, the kit would be a one-time thing. And here I can continue to make as many flowers as I want. So you kind of get the idea. You can kind of see that how the different colors take effect and so forth. But it just makes, it's just a beautiful, beautiful die. There you go. Now, of course, I said that I don't just stop there. I went ahead and I used this one with a coffee filter. I did not use the hot glue gun on that. I used glue dots in that, and I was just playing around with the coffee filter, and I took the spritzer and I spritzed it. And this, of course, is the specialty paper that she was just demonstrating, and it would make a pretty, you know, little shower gift. And then, of course, you can't get away without doing something with the berry basket. And so I did the berry basket, and because I had all these coffee filters in that, I went ahead then and I used this particular die, and all I did was cut out a bunch of this shape with the coffee filters, and then went around and just edged them. And then what I did is I took the Stampin' Up! Clay and I made little balls in that, and then just put the little florist wire underneath it in that, and then I just took my dauber and went through and I made the yellow in that, and then I thought, what a nice way to add the basket. So it just it's just a beautiful die. I love it, and you can even make a pin. You can have it in your hair. You could do all sorts of stuff. So I hope you'll give it a try, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed showing you.